Hey guys! So today we're trying out a new shooting location. I'm actually in my living room today because I have windows here, and in my library I only have two tiny windows, so the lighting is always terrible in there. So I wanted to try this out and just let you guys tell me if you want me to keep doing it out here, if you want me to keep doing it inside the library in front of my bookshelves. I mean, I know the bookshelves are prettier, but this is just better for shooting purposes. So today what I wanted to do was two mini reviews. I've read quite a few books this month already, so I wanted to kind of chop up my thoughts on the books ahead of time so that the wrap up at the end of the month wouldn't be as crazy as last month's, because last month's was a little bit overkill. So I've already done one previously this month, which was my mini reviews for Cruel Beauty and Love Letters to the Dead. I'll link that down below so you guys can go check that out. And now I'm going to do a review on one book and one graphic novel series that I've read. So here we go. The book I'll be reviewing is Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe, and there is massive window glare, but I know that this book has been making the rounds on BookTube for, the last couple of months, I want to say, and I had it and I didn't necessarily understand the hype because people hadn't really been talking much about it except about how wonderful the book was and how beautiful it was. And I completely get the hype now. This is actually the first book ever that I have tabbed while reading, and I actually don't have tabs at home, so I went on a mass dash through my house looking for something to use to tab the pages. And in the beginning the only thing that I had was taking photos of it with my phone, which was like the most ridiculous thing, but that's what I had to do. So that's what I did until I could get a hold of some tabs to be able to tab the book. But that being said, the book is beautiful. I'm not going to give you too much of a synopsis because I feel like the story really has to be read to be experienced properly, but basically it's a story about friendship and family, and it is a coming of age story about two boys, Aristotle and Dante. And the story is beautiful. It did remind me a little bit of Will Grayson. I'm not quite sure why, because it doesn't really have the same tone, but there was just something about it. The author, Benjamin Alir Sands, has the most amazing way with words of anyone that I've ever read. I kind of felt like he was able to weave these just magnificent sentences to describe the most simple and normal things that I never would have thought to describe like that. It was really, really beautiful. Overall, I think I read this book over a couple days just because I didn't want to read it so fast that I didn't actually process everything that I had read. But it was just, honestly, it was beautiful. I would recommend this book until I'm blue in the face. I mean, it's won, this cover shows 4 different awards that it's won, and I completely understand why it's won all of those awards. It's beautiful. I want to say I gave this 5 stars on Goodreads. So moving on, the graphic novel series that I read this month has actually been on my TBR for a while because my husband owns them and loves them. That is Saga. Saga 1, Saga Volume 2, and Saga Volume 3. These graphic novels were recommended to my husband by one of my friends. She actually purchased Volume 1, I want to say, maybe 1 and 2 for him last year for his birthday. I think just Volume 1. And he really loved it. We're really big on graphic novels and comics in our house, so when he read it, he told me that I had to read it. It's so good that I would just love it. And I had every intention to, but I have a lot of other stuff to read, so I kind of put it off. Then this month I kept hearing everybody rave about it, and somebody said something that kind of made me not want to read it, and when I asked my husband about it, he said, no, that's not true at all, you should read it, you're really gonna love it. And it was basically that somebody compared the story to Romeo and Juliet. that didn't seem like a super amazing premise of a graphic novel to me, so I wasn't crazy about it, but I picked it up anyway. The story is nothing like Romeo and Juliet. The only thing that's remotely comparable is that the main characters, whose names I will always forget because that's how I roll, guys. I always forget main character names. They are star-crossed lovers in that one of them is on the planet and one of them is from the moon, and the moon and the planet are in an epic war that has basically encompassed the entire galaxy. So that is really the only comparison that you can make, is, you know, like feuding houses, and in this case feuding planets. But otherwise, absolutely not. Like, Juliet is kind of such a whiny character to me, and she is so kick-ass. This series is so action-packed. They are both equal badasses. It is very mature. I do not recommend this for young kids, and honestly, I would say, unless you're 21 or older, ask before you read it, because it is very, very mature. But it's awesome. The story by Brian K. Vaughan, who also wrote Y the Last Man, which is a post-apocalyptic graphic novel comic series that somebody has been recommending for ages to me, and for some reason I haven't picked up. I'm gonna pick it up now, because this is such an amazing story that I can only imagine how great Y the Last Man is. And the illustrations by Fiona Staples are just amazing. The characters that come out of this series are like nothing I've ever seen before. It's just the story, the world, the character development. It actually felt like I was watching a movie while reading it instead of reading a book, because it was kind of so detailed and it was so easy to picture because it was a graphic novel. It was just awesome. I gave the first one 4 stars, I gave the second one 4.5 stars, and I gave the third one 5 stars. And I'm super excited for the next one to come out. I think my husband and I are going to have to fight to read it first. So that's it. Those are the books and graphic novels that I wanted to review. Let me know if you've read any of them, or if you've read Y the Last Man and what your thoughts are on it. I would love to hear about it, because I've only ever heard a recommendation from one other person. So yeah, let me know down below, and that's it. Bye!